Hello everyone, here we're at AES convention. Okay, hello, we're here in Newman's booth, and this is
Jonathan.
Hi Jonathan. Can you introduce a little bit of your product?
So what we're kind of showing here is that Neumann now has a complete end-to-end solution, starting from the microphone to now we have audio interfaces, I'll show you guys that in a second, to our speakers and headphones, and showing how you can now have a complete Neumann signal chain. So at this station, we're showing the KH150s. These are 6.5-inch, like I said, DSP-based speakers, so you can do room correction based right off the speaker. Actually, another new thing, just last year, we purchased a company called Merging Technologies. They're a converter company. So in this station, we're showing off the Merging Happy, which is a 1RU rack mount multi-channel mastering converter, as well as the Merging Anubis, which is a desktop AES67 network audio interface.
Is that just stereo?
No, that's actually modular. So there's two card slots in the back that you can fill with various cards, and the two most popular are 8-channel cards. So you can make it a 16x16 with mic pre's if you want, as well as other options like MADI and a few other things. But it's just a chassis, and on the back you have modular to change what I/O you want. The desktop piece has 2 mic pre's and then 2 line-ins and then 4 line-outs. So.
Can you introduce a little bit with your new speakers, which upgrades from the old 120s?
Yeah, so the new 120s, we added DSP, we upgraded the drivers, we upgraded the amplifiers, and we changed the construction of the housing. So now it's made out of MDF, whereas before it was like a composite. So it's a little bit more environmentally friendly, but also it aids in the resonance of the speaker. So it actually makes it sound better as well. The DSP is a big one. Like I said, I keep going back to this MA1 room correction. This really allows you, especially if you're recording in an apartment or your home or a place where you don't have a professionally designed room, to find the issues with your room and allow your tools, your speakers, to perform properly in that space. So that's really the big update with the new KH120 Mark IIs. These are our NDH30 headphones. These are an open back headphone. Amazing, amazing headphones. Really, really linear sounding, really open sounding. And actually one interesting fact about them is the drivers are canted a little bit. So you get this really amazing stereo imaging. It doesn't feel like your center channel's in the middle of your head, right? So you get really nice separation. They came in nickel colored before, which was these right here, but we just launched these black ones a few weeks ago, so now we have them in both. So where we're kind of ending on this little tour is the ammo system that I started to talk about. So as you can see, we have this huge truss system here, and up front we have KH420s on top of KH870s. The 420s are a large 3-way speaker, the 870s are a dual sub, and those are going to be our left, right, center, as well as the wide left and right. We have KH310s here as the surrounds, and then KH150s, which you saw right over there, as the top. So this is a 9.1.6 setup, playing back through almost the entire range of Neumann monitors. Again, we tuned this system with the MA1 room correction tuning as well.
We're here at CECILIA booth, and here with
Bertram Zimmermann. Yeah, thank you for having me. We are here at AES convention, and we are really excited. As we don't have we cannot show the whole portfolio at the moment, but I really want to point out that we are going to grow the family of EW digital products, for wireless applications, as recently with the EW-DP, like the small receiver for mobile applications on cameras, and especially on cameras and for other film usages. And we are still happy to have best-in-class microphones for it, like MKH416 and MKE600. And we still move forward and are addressing these markets.
Can you talk about a little bit more about your digital system and what vision you guys go with digital, switch from analog? You guys make a great analog product like a G4 and all those for filmmakings.
Yeah. After G4, we will not continue with the analog G5. So as you saw in the last years, we came with EWD, EWDX is coming at the moment as successors, digital successors. And we are step by step trying to complete this portfolio also with EWDP, for example, and various other products to complete the family and be able to have a whole digital family in the end for like replacing all the analog products, because like the advantages are quite obvious, right? You have a better and more stable signal transmission, better audio in the end. We have a modern codec on it, and a lot of advantages we can give to our users and help them evolving audio-wise and have a better transmission.
Yeah, as you mentioned about the digital system, like Sony makes some products that is suitable for their cameras. You don't have to use 3.5 audio cable anymore. Is that possible in the future that you guys can work with camera companies and do this kind of direct?
A lot of things are possible, like technically.
Are you guys trying to do that?
I cannot talk in detail about that, to be honest. But we are for sure watching really closely the market and see what things are coming and what the users are need. And like, as you connect your mobile headphones to if you're sitting in a flight, you can already connect your Bluetooth headphones to the screen right in front of you, right? And like this becomes more like a hygiene factor in the future to have a flawless integration and like good connectivity to all these various devices. And so we know that.
Hello guys, here we're at Focusrite and we're with
John DiNicola.
Hi John, can you introduce your new products this year?
Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited to be showing our new Scarlett, 4th gen Scarlett audio interfaces. So we have 3 models in the 4th gen range. We have Scarlett Solo, we have Scarlett 2i2, which is in front of me here, and Scarlett 4i4. So we have a lot of new features going on. So we have, starting with new converters that we're using. They're actually from our RedNet range of premium interfaces. So they're delivering 120 dB of dynamic range, so excellent sound quality across all the models. In addition to that, we have some new cool features relating to the mic preamp. So on 2i2 and 4i4, it's an all new preamp design that's remote controlled and digitally controlled. It has 69 dB of gain, so you have plenty of gain for any dynamic microphone. And those digitally controlled preamps allow us to incorporate some really cool new features like auto gain setting. So you can press a button, talk into it for a few seconds, and it will set the level for you. And then we also have Clip Safe, which basically monitors your input levels and will turn it down if it sees you're getting close to clipping. There's also a new air mode on all the models as well. So we have 2 air modes. The original presence mode models are ISA preamps from the original Focusrite Studio console. It gives you a nice top end boost, but still very clean and transparent. And then we also have our harmonic drive mode now that gives you a little bit more of saturation, a little bit more of a colored sound. So users actually have 3 different modes of preamp to choose from, so for whatever different colors and things like that. And you can also get the 2i2 or Solo in a studio bundle with the microphone and headphone and cable, as you see here. That's the 4th gen Scarletts. So the Scarletts come with all the software you need to get started. So we have Ableton Live Lite, DAW, and also 3 months of Pro Tools Artist subscription. So you have a choice between those 2. And then we have the Hitmaker Expansion plugin bundle, which is a bunch of plugins and virtual instruments. For example, Addictive Keys and Addictive Drums, virtual instruments, mixing plugins from Focusrite, Antares Auto-Tune Access, for example. So lots of fun things in there. You can get creating right away. And as far as pricing goes, we start at $139 for the Scarlett Solo, and we go up to $279 on the 4i4. Scarlett 2i2 is $199.
Hello, here we're with Avid, and here we're with...
My name's Caleb Knightley. I am a solution specialist for Avid.
Can you introduce some new product from Avid this year about all the sound system, as you see lots from consumer level to the professional level over there?
Yeah, sure. So on this booth right here, we're showing our Sketch iPad app, which is available on the iOS Apple Store to download. This is a music creation tool. It's a clip-based music creation tool. And the idea is this is where you'd sketch up your first ideas for a track. You can then move from the iPad into Pro Tools. Over here, we're showing this. You can drag your arrangement from your iPad session into your Pro Tools session. You can also use this same iPad app within a window within Pro Tools to create music. You could also do sound design with it. It's a loop-based system and it's clip-based. It can do MIDI and audio. moving this way down our booth, we're showing our workflow for studio or home working here. This is a same workflow that we'd use on our larger systems, but it's more compact and based for project studios or home studios. You get a lot of the advantages you do with our larger system on the smaller system. We're showing on this booth, we're showing Pro Tools Carbon, which is our low latency recording solution. It uses the hybrid engine, which has DSP chips within it. You can assign your record tracks to the DSP chips to get sub 1 millisecond latency recording. We're also previewing our integrated Dolby Atmos renderer and RX Spectral Editor as an ARA. These two things will be coming out at some point in the future, but they will be included with your license if you have Studio and Ultimate for Atmos, and Artist Studio and Ultimate, you'll get the RX Spectral Editor as an ARA plugin. Moving over here, we're showing our advanced theatrical Dolby Atmos workflow. This is a S6 mixing board console. It's a control surface. We're also showing our Matrix products, Matrix 2 and Matrix Studio, which were combined with an HDX card to give us our Dolby Atmos mixing setup.
Is this smaller setup able to do Atmos as well?
Yeah, so we've got Atmos on this smaller setup, so you can get as much of the mix as you can do done on this before you move to the larger setup. Many people can finish a mix actually for smaller projects, podcasting, television, even some movie applications you can get done on pretty much on this setup that we've got here. We're running these off, this shows the power of where we've come to with computing now. This system and that system are both run off laptops, which kind of before it would be unthinkable, really. The power of the new processors gives us is that we can do these large Atmos sessions on one laptop.
And what's your move on switching the screen to tablets for those controllers?
So on these, the S1 and the dock controller, you can use a tablet to display. I mean, you don't have to. You can use these without tablets, or you could just use the tablet on their own. This is using our Avid Control app. So you can use an Avid Control app on a tablet without the S1 or the dock. You can use the S1 or dock without the Avid Control app, without the tablets. You can use the tablet on their own. You can choose which screen you view on the tablet, on the S1 or the dock. It just enhances the workflow. The idea is, with this system, is that you can bring the mix to you. So instead of having a really large board where you have to zoom up and down in your chair, you can bring the right fader to you at the right moment. It's very quick to navigate with the iPad, the Avid Control app on a tablet. You can just click on the track that you want and it will bring it to attention right in front of you.
So the app works on its own as well. So
yeah. So the app, in combination with Pro Tools, using our Yukon network, you can use the iPad app on its own, or it's not just iPad. You can use it on any flavor of tab you like, but you can use that as a controller for Pro Tools on its own without these extra pieces of hardware.
And is that app need separate subscription? Or?
No, that's an app you can just download.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you have any new interesting stuff with software as well, with Pro Tools?
With Pro Tools 23.9, which came out in September, we've got two really great workflow improvements. One is the ability to save, copy, and export selected range only. So say you've done an intro to a television series or a podcast, and you want to apply that intro to further episodes, you can go File, Save Session, Copy In, and there's a new option in there to export selected timeline range only, or save selected timeline range only. And that means it will just take those tracks as they are within that timeline range. You can also anchor your automation points to that particular timeline range and export that. And then re-import them to your next episode. The other gain in 23.9 is that we can do plug-in reordering. Whereas before, if you'd filled up all 5 plug-in slots, you'd have to remove a plugin and then move them around. Now you can just click and hold on a plugin and move it in order. So say you want your compressor before your EQ, you can just click and hold on that and then drag it up, and it will let you drop that into the new order without removing any plugins. So with our carbon system here, obviously we've expanded the carbon with 3, we've got a carbon and 2 carbon pre's, so there are 3 interfaces working with there. With our Matrix system, Matrix 2, you can have multiple Matrix 2s all joined to the one system using the Dadman software. And actually, as well, with Matrix Studio, you can expand Matrix Studio with a carbon pre-product as well. So there are ways of using more than one interface with the Pro Tools software.
Here with Shure, and with Shure microphone, and here with
Jason Waffle from Shure.
Hi,
Yeah.
Jason. So can you introduce your new product this year?
Yeah, Shure's really excited to be back at AES 2023. Thanks for coming by and checking us out. We're showcasing the SM7DB. So this is an update to the famous SM7 that we know and love, that's been in music studios and podcasts for a very long time. So the SM7DB adds a internal active amplifier. We partnered with Cloud Technologies to put that in there. The greatest thing about it is that you can put it in bypass mode, which means it's truly just the SM7 as it was and you know and love. But if you want to throw some phantom into it and use the internal amplifier, you can. So it simplifies the whole process. Still exactly the same sound you're used to having, just a bunch of power within. We're always escalating our Axion digital line. That's our flagship wireless. So 2 years ago at the show, we launched the 2-channel slot receiver that's more based around the film and live broadcast industry. We added the plug-on transmitter last year. So Axion Digital is kind of a staple at these shows for us. Yeah, we are definitely moving towards an all-digital perspective. The trade-offs and the benefits of digital wireless is obviously proven now. We all know it's significantly better for a ton of reasons. So we still have a couple analog systems, SLX, BLX, but the new SLXD that came out about 1.5 years ago took the SLX line to digital, QLXD, ULXD, Axion Digital. So yeah, our wireless portfolio is definitely moving to an all-digital future.
Here with DT, and here with
Andrew.
Obviously, we saw Andrew on all over the internet teaching people how to record their audios. Can you introduce a little bit about your new product with DT?
Absolutely. So what we've got coming out, shipping this month, is the brand new Theos ecosystem from us. We have a brand new wireless lineup of products. This is a 2-channel kit really designed for folks who are trying to get into location sound, filmmaking, or need just wireless audio for any kind of video project that they've got going on. It's a digital UHF system. So what that means is it's got crystal clear, beautiful audio. It's going to sound fantastic for any user out there. And it's also tunable using your cell phone. So I know a lot of people out there are worried about, if I use wireless mics, I get dropouts, I get interference, I get all these problems that make using wireless very hard. And we try to remove a lot of that kind of struggle for the folks out there who've never done it before. You can use your phone. It'll find the cleanest frequencies for your wireless microphones, move that actually over to those frequencies and handle it all so you don't even have to walk up to an actor and touch the body pack anymore. So it's all done through remote control through your cell phone using an app that we've developed over the last year that has been working wonderfully on film sets all around the world for our timecode boxes. And now we're bringing it to the wireless audio world.
And is this a UHF system?
This is digital UHF. So what that means is the way that we actually modulate the signal, it's not like traditional systems in the past that are analog. It is digital, so it's all ones and zeros to us, which means we are less worried about that signal to noise ratio of our wireless. We can actually put wires on more crowded channels, as well as the audio that it's going to receive doesn't have that background hiss that sometimes an analog wireless system will have. So all of this just means crystal clear audio from the transmitter pack all the way to the receiver. Our approach with any new product is find the customer, find out what problems they have, and try to solve their problems. Simple as that. Don't try to develop a product and sell it based on some other odd new technology. Sell it based on the solution to the problem that folks are having. So we have a brand new mic that came out in this last year called the VMic D4. A lot of people were wanting something that goes into an iPhone. We knew iPhone was going USB-C, so we have a USB-C shotgun that can go onto a phone. It also goes USB-C to TRS, right into a mirrorless camera. And because it's USB-C, that same D4 mic can also get plugged into a computer. So one microphone for all your devices. Right now, we are working pretty heavy in wireless. We think this is a growth sector that really could use some new life. This is an idea that I've had for quite a while now in the systems that we've always wanted to have for ourselves and our own sound bags. And we're developing kind of stuff in toys that I've always wanted to play with. And we just then share it with the rest of the world. So this has been in the works since 2020. And it's taken us 3 years, but we are finally there. And we have more of this kind of stuff coming down the pipeline.
Here we're with Lectrosonics, and we're with
Nick Mariano.
Hi Nick, can you introduce your new product from Lectrosonics?
Yeah, we make professional grade wireless mics used primarily in film, TV, broadcast, live sound, house of worship, theater as well. We make a lot of different wireless solutions, anything from bell pack transmitters for headsets and lavalier mics, to handheld transmitters, in-ear monitors for performers, IFB units for communications, and sort of the broad line of applications from super mini transmitters and portable receivers to rack mount transmitters and receivers and distribution.
And you guys are really famous for transmitters for film and television. Can you introduce your new product like in past few years?
Yeah, so the latest technology that we have for transmission and reception is what we call the fully digital line. So in the past, we've used digital audio, but then transmitted it with an analog RF signal. By transmitting with a digital RF signal, we're able to do a lot more. So we can increase the tuning range of the transmitters and receivers, so it covers the entire UHF, legal UHF range in the United States, which is 470 megahertz to 608, which with a very crowded RF spectrum, especially in cities like New York, gives you the ultimate flexibility. Also allows us to encrypt our audio for applications like sports and corporate, and sometimes even military and agency use. Also, we have arguably the best sound quality out there for wireless. The digital line is phase linear as well as frequency linear, but phase linear across the audible spectrum, which is very unique for wireless. Even our older products didn't have that feature. So if we're talking about specifics, the DBSM is a nice compact transmitter, single AA battery. It can be hooked up to a lav mic, a headset mic. You could even hook up like a dynamic handheld mic if you wanted to. This comes in a single and a dual battery version. We also have plug-in transmitters. These are used a lot for broadcast, for reporting, also as overhead boom mics, and test and measurement. The digital line makes a good test and measurement. You also see in a lot of our transmitters, we have a recording capability as well as timecode jam capabilities. So it can be used as a standalone recorder if you needed to. We have handheld transmitters. These guys are nice. We make the radio side of it. We also make a capsule, but a lot of people have their own personal preference for capsules. And you can fit any screw-on type capsule on there, whether it's Shure, this is an Electro Voice, Sennheiser, Neumann. There are many companies that make them now. So that's on the transmitter side.
Yeah, and those are your transmitter. And what about your receiver?
Yeah, so receivers, we have some very new stuff. You'll see this is one of the first portable digital receivers we came out with a few years ago, the 822. It is a 2-channel digital receiver, and it uses what we call vector diversity. So that was a new technology as far as antenna diversity goes. This was so successful in the field that we have now sort of duplicated this technology into 2 new form factors, the DSR4 and the DSR. These are slot mount receivers, so they can be used slot mounted into a camera that has a slot mount. They can be used in a bag for field recordings, very popular for film and TV with use of like a sound devices recorder and an SL2 slot unit. You can get up to 8 channels in 2 slots using the DSR4, which is a 4-channel receiver. The DSR is a 2-channel receiver, and that's geared more for ENG, for news crews, or say reality TV crews. It's a little smaller, draws less current, less expensive just because it's just 2 channels. So these are relatively new. This came out in January. This just started shipping about a month ago, the DSR. What's nice about this form factor, and this is brand new for this show, is what we call the UMC WB-D-L. And it's this unit up here, which is a 4-slot, single rack space, RF and power distribution unit. So with this, you can slot in 4 DSR4s and get up to 16 channels of reception in a single rack unit. So as far as channel density, it doesn't get much better than that. You can also slot in a 822, a DSR, our older SRCs, which are digital hybrid, the analog transmission units, and even the old 411As, which we don't sell anymore, but are still around. So that's a brand new unit.
And that is digital.
Yes, so the DSR4 is fully digital, but it works with our analog transmitters as well. So if you were to switch over to a digital receiver, you don't necessarily have to buy new transmitters. You can use our older transmitters.
So the John Lennon Educational Tour Bus is a non-profit mobile recording studio that tries to run student sessions absolutely for free. So any school can request us from the US. We are on tour 10 months out of the year. Any of the teachers from any school, ranging student-wise from 6 up to, 25 or 30 at the university, can have us at their location, and all they need to do is just request a bus at lennonbus.org. That gets sent to our tour coordinator, and then depending where we are and where the request is coming from, we are actually going to stop there. We load in very early in the morning, and within 8 hours, we help a group of students to write an original song from scratch, record it, produce it on the bus, and shoot a music video. If they're more into mixing or actually cinematography, we actually hand them the gear so they can actually have also that tech experience. That's what we do 10 months out of the year with this bus in the US and another bus, that's where I'm from, in Europe. The operation here in the US have been going for 26 years and 10 years in Europe. So all of this is, of course, doable, and it's for free for the students in the school thanks to our partners. So these are corporate sponsors. Every single piece of gear you see around yourself, it's been donated to the bus, and they're also financing and putting the money for the gas in. Latest thing to say, again, as I was mentioning before, we've just been lucky enough to be on tour with the Wu-Tang Clan. They made a pretty important donation so we can keep on going tour-wise with students and school stops. And we actually were their recording studio while they were on tour throughout all the US and Canada. That's why I'm probably so tired and looking extremely tired, but that's all good. That's doing what we love and trying to give it back to students.
The AA units will take nickel metal hydride rechargeables, they'll take lithium rechargeables. I prefer the nickel metal hydrides because it's easier to track when they're going to die. Panasonic Analoop Pros, the Onsman batteries. If you look at inside any one of these units, these are my Analoop Pros. I have a ton of them. They typically work the best. Alternative to this, though, would be just standard lithium-ion batteries. They're very expensive these days, but they last the longest. So yeah, those are the 2 options. We also have a few units that sport an NB50 or LB50 type lithium-ion rechargeable. Super compact, highly efficient lithium-ion battery. As you can see, if we want to make a transmitter very, very small, all the circuitry is down in here, and the rest of it's the smallest battery we could find that had good battery life, and that was this battery. So this is the SSM that uses that type of battery. Our IFB R1B uses that, and soon to be more transmitters coming very soon that will use this battery type. So
this is very compact. Is this an analog system or it's a digital system?
This is the only transmitter that we haven't made a digital version of yet, which means one may be coming. I won't say when, but it's not too far off, but yes. So this is a digital hybrid SSM, super popular for theater. Anytime you have to hide a transmitter in a wig, in a costume. But yes, we basically have transitioned to fully digital, so everything's transitioned over but this, so keep your eyes open.
So this is the main tracking room on the Lennon bus, so this is what we call the rear studio. And yeah, we've got the Genelec 8341s for monitors. Both studios are set up with the Apogee Symphony Mark II. So we've got 16 channels up front. We've got 24 analog and 8 digital back here. In addition to that, we've got 12 channels of the SSL X-Logic Pre. So this has the VHD, the variable harmonic distortion, just to add a little subtle kind of character when needed there. We can actually separate each individual studio. So back here is our vocal isolation booth. So we can slide these doors to get some acoustic isolation as well as visual. So again, hopefully Pietro already mentioned that we're a nonprofit mobile recording studio, primarily working with students. So oftentimes they can be a little nervous, especially if it's their first time recording. So being able to kind of give that separation visually and acoustically generally leads to a better take.
And you guys have some instruments for the students as well?
Correct, yeah. So we've got the Roland RD2000 as well as the TD50X V drums there. And of course, guitars by Gibson. So there's the Gibson bass and the Les Paul guitar there. And yeah, we've got kind of strategically placed mic tie lines throughout the bus. We've got the patch bay down there to route the signal where needed. And one of the great things about the bus and the way it's designed is we don't have to have cables crossing over the pathway. Again, these are students that maybe not familiar with a studio environment, and we don't want any kind of trip hazards that could happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and I see you guys have this little booth here. Is that a separate?
So this is all storage. So if you guys want to come on back, we can get into the vocal isolation booth. And again, the AC's on, so it might not be that quiet for you. But yeah, so this is all storage. So it's just light stands, mic stands, and a vacuum cleaner, of course. Every little bit of space is used here on the bus. And this is our mic closet. So all these mics are from Audio-Technica. So set up right here, I've got the Audio-Technica 4050, but we've also got the 4047 SV, the 4033s, the 4060, which is their tube mic, as well as some handhelds, the 5400 and the 6100, and a few other little toys from Audio-Technica. And yeah, we're a crew of 3. So we live on board 10 months out of the year, teaching kids how to write and record music. So there's a bunk here, and then one more behind the TV. And so this is our home.
That's a surprise. You guys actually live on this bus.
Correct.
And
Correct.
you're doing all of those fantastic things for students.
Yes.
We appreciate that.